morning, everybody. This is Vicki from Houston. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is going to be a beautiful day today. If you hear something in the background, it's the wind howling. It's supposed to be really pretty, but the wind is blasting already this morning. Isn't going to do much for our hairdos. But as you can see, I chopped my hair all off, so I don't have to really worry about my hair blowing in the wind too much. So I just got it trimmed and decided to go a little bit shorter and got it colored. And that is what this video is about today. We're going to talk about hair. I'm not going to put on makeup. I did use a new palette this morning. For Christmas, I got the, it's called ColourPop Wild Thing. And it has gorgeous creams and oranges and some greens, and so I actually tried it this morning. It really is pretty. I really liked it. Anyway, I am sitting in the middle of my bed, and we're just going to visit about hair. And I have my trusty little puppy dog here with me. Come here, baby. Come here. Say good morning. Say good morning, baby. So, say good morning. So we are going to visit about hair. I had a friend of mine, Michelle, that asked me about hair color. And this was especially during the time that we were in complete lockdown in Houston. That was like, I guess it's been 4 or 5 months ago since we've been in complete lockdown. Things have opened up quite a bit in Houston. Restaurants are open, I think 75% capacity. Stores are opening. I'm still, of course, being very careful, or I try to be, because I have a granddaughter that comes here every other week. We did have some family members in for Christmas, and it was so wonderful. I hadn't seen granddaughters from Dallas in quite a while. But we are still trying to be careful. We're still wearing masks, which I hate. You know, Mom is still at the nursing home. They're still being very careful there, but they are getting the vaccine. They started getting them last week, which I am so happy about. So Mother did get her vaccine last week. But let's see, what else is going on? That's really it. I took all my Christmas stuff down. Thank the Lord. I love putting it up, and I love Christmas. But after about a week after Christmas, the house is a mess. I have tinsel everywhere. I have snow that has come off the trees. I'm sick of it, and I want it all up. So everything is kind of back to normal. All of our rooms are back to normal. So let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about hair. Several videos back, I did a tutorial on how I do my hair, and my hair was longer back then. But a couple of ladies wrote in and said, you know, what are you doing about color during this lockdown? But for my hair, when it started growing out, during the lockdown, what I did is what we're going to talk about. I really kind of feel like as I started investigating and kind of doing some research on hair color, there's really 3 or 4 different ways that you can take care of your hair. Either, you know, you take care of it or someone else take care of it. And the first one that I want to talk about is a subscription service, and it's called eSalon. I don't know if any of you have tried this, but I did. I joined, I think in 19, and I did, I think 4 hair colors with them. I've got some notes here that I'm going to look at. So where I first heard of this is, see my Christmas earrings? Aren't they pretty? A little green. Where I first heard of this was Hot and Flashy. Angie had talked about this in the beginning. She has gorgeous long hair, and she had talked about that she was actually in between each time that she would go to her beauty salon, she was actually taking care of her grays, and she was doing it with eSalon. So I'm reading this. So the first time hair color customers, if you go into that eSalon.com, you actually get 50% off your first order. And you know, I'm not a hair colorist. I am absolutely not a beautician. This is just, you know, take this with a grain of salt. I love hair and makeup and all those things. And yes, my hair did drive me crazy when we were in lockdown and it started getting gray. And I had about, I'm sure probably I would be 80% gray if I let it completely grow out. But what eSalon is you go into eSalon.com, you answer a bunch of questions about your hair. I believe I actually send in pictures. You know, you part your hair and send in pictures. You kind of talk a little bit and back and forth with them about what you want. Do you want warms? Do you want neutrals? Do you want to just use this subscription service for covering up your gray in between the times that you go to the hair salon? Or is this something that you're wanting to start doing completely on your own? And so they custom mix your color. And the very first time I used it, I really felt like it had a little bit too much red in it. I did use it and I liked it, but I felt like it had too much red. So I called and talked to them. They did remix it. So my next subscription had the red, I think it was chestnut, taken out. And it did much better. You get your first custom hair color kit for only $10, which, you know, I don't think you can even barely buy box colors at Walgreens or Walmart. You know, a lot of them are $10. It is solid gray coverage. I have to say that it completely covered my gray. That was what one of the ladies had asked. Does it really color your gray? It did. My color was light, what they called light brown. It is a permanent hair color. And in this little kit, I wish I had kept one, but I don't have it. But you get like a bottle of color. You get a bottle of developer. I bought like a little plastic bowl. I think it's Sally's or somewhere. And I got a little brush. And it's simple. I mean, if you've watched, if you've watched somebody do the roots of your hair for a long time, I just parted it a little bit, colored on both sides, and then took a little tiny piece and colored it. If I do it again myself, I'll film myself doing it, but it was a simple process. I left it on 20 minutes. I guess probably the hardest part to do, and I think Hot and Flat Angie talked about this also, is the back of your hair. And she would do it a couple of times, and then she would feel like that it was time to go back to the hairdresser because they can get your whole head of hair and they can actually see the back. But it made my hair fluffy and clean feeling and soft, and I loved it. So my note that I made to myself on my notes is, during the pandemic lockdown, be brave, and I did it at home. And it worked beautifully. You know, the other option you have is embrace your grays and start letting it grow out. I have some friends that have done that. And if that is what you have come to, you know, more power to you. If you're ready to just stop the color process and just see what happens and let your grays grow out. Some ladies have beautiful, gorgeous gray hair. I don't feel like mine is that way, and I am nowhere near ready to do that. So don't be planning on seeing me gray for a while. I will be buying something to make my hair take the gray away, or I will be going to the beauty salon. So the pricing on the eSalon after your first kit, like I said, I think you can get your first kit for $10. The single order use is $27.50. So the first one was 10, and then when 5 weeks later, I believe, or 6 weeks later, I got online and told them I was ready for another kit, and it was $27.50. If you do a single order like that, like you want to contact them and you just want to call them and tell them that you want an order, it's $27.50. If you will get on their subscription plan, it's $22. And that is like, you can say every 6 weeks or every 8 weeks, I will need this color. So the subscription plan is about $5, a little bit, I guess it's $5 cheaper, and it's called the AutoShip plan. It says the AutoShip plan automatically sends your next order, which includes all the items that you need. And you can pick the delivery frequency of your choice. So I think why it's great is it has a great quiz on the front end, which really gets a lot of important details about your hair, what you want, what is your current hair state, you know, have you got a lot of damage, what's going on, what is your goal? Is your goal just to cover your gray, or is it to become your own colorer from now on? Each shade is mixed individually by a colorist especially for you, and your delivery comes with personal instructions on application tailored to you and your hair. They also will provide guidance before, during, and after. That sort of hand holding is super, super welcome to some ladies, and they love it. So that is our one, well, I guess that's two choices. So that gives us eSalon, the subscription color plan. And the second option is embrace your grace. I mean, you know. So the third option is sprays, crayons. There's a lot of different root touch-up kits that you can buy now. I see them in Walmart, Walgreens, CVS. They're everywhere. I have used a lot of them, and a lot of the ladies that I follow on YouTube, I've used a lot of them. The #1 rated one is called the Rita Hazan. I think it's Hausen. And it's a light brown spray. I got light brown because someone in one of the reviews said that the colors are a little bit darker than what you expect. So I got the light brown, and it worked great. And it is just, you know, part your hair, spray, I think it says, you know, 2 to 3 inches away, spray, part your hair, spray. It actually matched my hair. I did use that at the beginning of the lockdown, and it was a pretty color. It does make your hair feel a tiny bit, like a tiny bit, not dirty, but you know how dry shampoo kind of gives your hair a little bit of grit, I guess? It kind of makes your hair feel a little bit like it has a little bit of grit in it. And I think mine stayed through, baby's back there rolling. Are you playing, baby? You know, it won't run. And I think it stayed in like 2 shampoos. And so that's one option. The second option that I tried that was almost as good as this Rita Hazan is the L'Oreal Magic Root Color. It is also a spray that you spray in your hair, and it also makes your hair kind of feel a little bit gritty, but it stayed and it matched fine also. The thing I found that is harder with the sprays is if you get gray right here like I do, you can't see it now because I just went to the beauty salon, just got my hair done. But the sprays, it's kind of hard to get right there because you're kind of spraying your skin, not spraying your skin. Do you take a washcloth and get it off? So that was the one thing that I didn't like about the sprays. If you're just doing up here, it's fine and it's very easy. But if you're getting close to your face, it makes it a little bit more difficult. I tried some powders. Ulta had several powders that came with little brushes, but I didn't like them. They kind of, I don't know, they like flaked off on my face, and I felt like they mixed in with my makeup. I didn't like them at all. There was a pen that I liked, especially that you can use right here around the edges, and it is called the Everpro Gray Color Stick. And it's actually like and I don't have one either, but it's actually like a pen or a crayon on one end. And then it has a kind of like a spongy type thing on the other end. So you kind of color it right here on the edges. And then if you feel like it's a little bit dark, you can kind of take that little sponge that's on the end and kind of just blend it in with your hair. And I really liked both of those options. So the crayon, the Everpro Gray Color Stick would be one that I recommend for around your face. And then the Rita Hazan spray would be the one that I recommended for, you know, if you're just trying to cover up grays up on top. Now let's talk about box color. I used box color, you know, for years before I could afford to go to the salon. I mean, salons are expensive. If you go to one that is not quite so expensive, you can pay $75 to $100. You can also go to a very expensive salon and pay $300, $400, and $500 by the time you get out of there. And there was a time when I could not afford that. And so I have used box colors. But my issue with box colors is that you know, I never know what to buy, and I never know exactly what I'm going to get. And I can even, it seems like get a box color. And one time I would like it, and then the second time I would think that doesn't look right. So, but I did do a little bit of research on the box colors, and overall, there are two boxes that are recommended by Vogue and Good Housekeeping. These two boxes were rated the highest and had the best reviews. The first one is called Natural Instincts. It's by Clairol. You can get it at Ulta for $7.99. It was considered the best overall at-home hair color. It says they have lots of shades, especially browns and reds. The second rated box color is Revlon Color Silk, which I use all the time if I color my mom's hair. And this was the named the best at home hair color for stubborn grays. So it says this is the best value that you can get on trying to cover up those stubborn grays. It covered grays completely, retained shine, and didn't fade after 4 weeks. Great for brunettes and redheads, and also auburn and burgundy shades. If I was going to go to a box, that would be, probably the two that I would go to. I did do a little bit of research on, why is going to a salon, let me say myself, I don't want to say all of us. I always end up back at the salon. I have a great lady that does my hair. Her name is Letty. And she knows when I color my roots, because when I go, she'll say, yeah, it's a little bit red, but so she knows that in between sometimes haircuts and hair colors, I mess with my own hair. But, why is going to a salon so much better? Box dye itself is typically a more concentrated formulation than salon hair color, because the color has to be strong enough to work on anyone's hair, which makes perfect sense. Here are some of the other issues that I found. It said 2 women may have the very same level hair color and the very same hair type and get 2 different results when they use the same box color. It kind of depends on your natural level, your underlying pigment, whether it's red or ash, your skin tone, are you taking medication? None of these factors are brought into consideration when you go into a store and buy a box. Number 2 is one size doesn't fit all. Box color is made to color hair ranging from dark brown to light brown to light blonde to coarse to fine hair, all with the same box. So color is meant to go on new growth only. That means your roots that you have grown in up to the line of your previous color, which is really hard to tell where you're overlapping if you're just using a mirror. They say that we should look for expired hair colors on the shelf. I didn't know that we should be looking for expired hair colors on the shelf. It says, how long has this hair color been on the shelf? Is it expired? Have any of the active ingredients lost their oomph? The next note I took is about savings. Most people, like me, I colored hair at home to save money. But sometimes what we think will turn out brown turns out green. Sometimes what we think will turn out red turns out orange. You do not always get the results that you want out of a box. And sometimes in the end, going to a professional about your hair color, it may be the best bet. The last thing it said also is, where are you getting advice from about what box to select? Sometimes when selecting our box dyes, we're asking advice from a cashier or a friend, and unless they've been properly trained and they know the product line, they probably should not be telling us, should not be advising us what color to use. I just kind of wanted to give us all an option. If you have the money and you love going to salon and you love treating yourself, and I do, find a great salon, find a great stylist that will listen to you, and talk to her about price. I have no qualms whatsoever walking in the first time and saying, how much is this? If it's going to be $300, nope, I can't afford that. And then you have to think about, can you deal with that every 6 weeks? Because, most of these hair colors, and if you have hair that is growing good, which that's a great thing, it means probably we're healthy. We have a healthy head of hair. But is that something that you can afford every 6 weeks? I think whatever you decide, whatever you can afford and whatever you decide is, you know, your own choice and what works for you. If you've been buying the same box dye for 5 years and you love it, then girl, stay with it. You know, whatever suits your fancy. Myself, I'm a little bit more afraid, and I probably will continue to go to a colorist, and as long as I can afford it and as long as I'm physically able. I wanted you to know that we do have choices. Let me know in your comments, you know, do you have another suggestion? Do you do something different to your hair? Are you just embracing your grays these days? And, you know, if you are, great. I see a lot of ladies out there embracing their grays this day. And, you know, it's a trend. I mean, I've been seeing young girls with their hair gray. But anyway, I think that's all I have for the video today. I hope you find this helpful. I hope it helps you a little bit in you trying to decide what you want to do with your hair. I am headed out today. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon, and I have an order of groceries that I need to pick up. So, hope you have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll be notified of all my videos, and please stay safe. I know the this COVID virus is still hanging around. So if you are in a state that you're still under lockdown, please be careful. Please be safe. Do what they tell us to do. Wear your mask, wash your hands, all that stuff. For now, I'm going to say bye. Bye from Houston, and hugs from me to you. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. You want to see bye, baby? Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, no. No, she's too hard-headed. She's going to sit over there. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.